Empire Strikes Back, the middle child of the original Star Wars trilogy that's somehow the coolest one, proving that sequels can sometimes improve on the original. This flick takes the basics from A New Hope and cranks up the drama, the twist, the puppetry to levels that make you wonder if George Lucas was even trying with the first movie. Gone is George Lucas from the director's chair, the guy who helmed A New Hope like a kid with a new lightsaber. Instead, we get Irvin Kershner, a seasoned filmmaker who Lucas handpicked after deciding directing the first one stressed him out more than dodging imperial taxes. Kershner brought a darker, more mature vibe to the saga, turning it from a fun romp into an emotional gut punch. Think of it as Lucas saying, "You handle the drama, I'll just camp the money, 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 money." Kirshner's touch added depth, like upgrading from a kiddie pool to like the Marianas Trench compared to the first movie. It's Shakespeare in space. Fun fact, Lucas considered over 100 directors before settling on Kirshner. Talk about a galactic job hunt. A New Hope had its core crew: Mark Hamill as Luke, Harrison Ford as Han, Carrie Fisher as Leia, and the droids, along with Chewie, as comedic relief. But Empire spices things up with some newbies who steal scenes like Boba Fett steals bounties. The big standout is Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, the smooth talking Cloud City admin who's basically the galaxy's used car salesman with a cape. Charming, shady, and owner of the coolest mustache this side of the Outer Rim. Then there's Frank Oz as Yoda, not just voicing the wrinkly green hermit, but puppeteering him as well. Yoda is like your grandpa, is wise, backwards talking, but well meaning. Jeremy Bulloch suits up as Boba Fett with Jason Wingreen voicing him, the silent bounty hunter who's cooler than a night on Hoth and says more with a helmet nod than most characters do with full monologues. Other fresh faces include Kenneth Coley as the sniveling Admiral Piet, Julian Glover as General Veers, and Clive Revel voicing the Emperor. Of course, if you're watching on Disney Plus, they've redone it and put in Ian McDermott. These additions crank up the villainy, the whimsy, making the Empire feel bigger and more thought out than Hope ever imagined to be. Let's get going. All right, buckle up, herf, nerd herfers. 3 years post Death Star boom, the rebels are chilling, literally, on the ice planet Hoth, hiding from the Empire like that one friend who owes you money. Darth Vader sends probe droids everywhere, and one crashes the party on Hoth. Luke gets kidnapped by a Wampa, a space Yeti basically, escapes using the Force, like a Jedi, but nearly freezes to death. Obi-Wan's ghost pops up like a supernatural spam call saying, "Go to Dagobah, train with Yoda." Han goes after Luke because, well, he's his friend. I will be giving this a point in the positive for Han being a loyal friend. To stay to save Luke, even though he had already decided and argued with Leia about him leaving to settle the bounty that's on his head. He finds Luke and saves him by stuffing Luke into the tauntaun belly like a tauntaun sleeping bag, and it's gross. This later is quickly followed up by a stupid argument again due to Han wanting to leave and pay his debts to Jabba and him trying to force Leia to admit that she has feelings for him when she kisses Luke. Ugh, they don't know it's wrong yet, but it is, man. The Empire attacks with giant walkers that stomp around like drunk elephants on stilts, with one of them getting taken down by Luke via leg entanglement. The rebels evacuate in a chaotic mess. Han, Leia, C-3PO, and Chewie blast off in the Millennium Falcon. Due to the hyperdrive issues, they have to hide in an asteroid field, with romance blooming between Han and Leia amid the rocks. Nothing says I love you like dodging space worms. Then, after they get out of the worm, Han hides the Falcon from the Empire by hiding on a Star Destroyer before heading to Cloud City on Bespin for help from his old friend Lando. Meanwhile, Luke and R2 have crash landed on swampy Dagobah, where they meet Yoda, who's basically the galaxy's toughest personal trainer. Boy, this is where it gets hilariously profound. Not. Yoda makes Luke do handstands while levitating rocks, all while spouting backward wisdom like do or do not, there is no try, which is Yoda speak for stop whining. Boy, do we ever want him to stop doing that. Luke fails spectacularly at first, whining, of course, about his X-Wing sinking like a bad investment and him not being able to get it out because it's too big, yada yada yada. Yoda lifts it out with the Force like it's no biggie, schooling Luke on size mattering not. But Luke's impatience shines. He has visions of his friends in trouble and bails on training against Yoda and Obi-Wan's advice. Classic impulsive Skywalker. Back on Cloud City, Lando welcomes the gang like old times, cakes, cocktails, the works. But, plot twist, Lando betrays them. His betrayal hits harder than a carbonite slab. Vader's already there, blackmailing Lando into handing them over. Lando's like, sorry, bro, the Empire made me offer I couldn't refuse. And it's to keep the Empire out of Cloud City. They go into a dinner scene set up where it reveals Darth Vader, and he blocks blaster shots from Han and takes his gun from him. Han gets frozen into carbonite, which is a test run for Luke's cryo nap. Leia confesses her love, and Han just says, I know. Boba Fett hauls Han off to Jabba like a UPS delivery. Lando has a change of heart a little too late, freeing Leia and Chewie, but the damage is done. Betrayal stings, and Chewie goes to choke Lando out. But he stops so Lando can tell him he has a plan to try to save Han. Luke shows up without sensing the trap, and here it is, the first lightsaber battle between Vader and Luke, which is pure chaos. They clash in the Cloud City guts. Vader tossing furniture like a bad roommate. Luke trying to dodge like he's in a video game but is taking serious damage because, you know, he wasn't ready to fight Vader yet. The Dark Lord dominates, chopping off Luke's hand and drops the bomb of the franchise, at least originally.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
No. That's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Luke, you can destroy the Emperor. He has foreseen this. It is your destiny. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Come with me. It is the only way.
Luke's face is priceless, of course, and he chooses potential death over joining the dark side, down an air shaft only to get rescued by Leia via Force FaceTime. The gang escapes barely. Luke gets a kiss that we don't know is gross yet, but doesn't she love Han now? That kiss makes zero sense, always has, whatever. Luke also gets a robot hand, and Lando and Chewie jet off to save Han. Roll credits! It is now time for the additional positives and negatives of the film. Starting with the positives. Darker tone, it's got heart, humor, and the iconic lines like, I know from Han. that are smoother than Lando's mustache. Yoda's introduction is puppet magic at its finest. Frank Oz makes the little guy wiser and just endlessly entertaining. Epic twists and battles. The Vader reveal is mind blowing back in the 80s, and honestly, it still slaps today emotionally, no matter what order that you watch these films in. There's character growth, of course. Luke doesn't grow a lot, but he does grow from his farm boy days into the makings of a Jedi. And then, of course, there's Han and Leia's romance that is kind of like a rom com in space, but with stakes. And her falling for Han is believable enough. The score by John Williams will always get a positive point. Those Imperial March bangers could make even grocery shopping feel epic. And let's get into the negative. That's right, I said negative. Pacing dips and spots. Yoda's training sequence, it kind of drags. I mean, you get the point of what Luke is going through and what Yoda's dealing with as far as whiny Luke, we should know from episode 4. It drags. It could have been edited a little differently and cut out some of it because we didn't need to see as much as we did. It just kind of drags on. And then the space worm segment, I don't feel is needed. It kind of drags having them wonder about the monster or whatever that's going on out there that keeps hitting the ship, getting out and walking around on we now know is the tongue of the worm. I don't think it's needed. The growth we see of Han and Leia's character and their romance budding and all that can be shown with them just floating through space as well. The Empire Strikes Back, obviously getting The Empire Strikes Back is an example of peak Star Wars, blending spectacle, surprises, and sarcasm in a way that still holds up today. The film as a whole is great. While there are spots that drag, it's still a great film that has things that hold up in big ways even today. By far the best of the original trilogy. I didn't enjoy it as much this time as I have in the past, but I still enjoyed watching it. I give it 4 severed hands of your own children out of 5. Thank you all for watching. The series is dwindling down and it's feeling like a long road, but put in the comments if I should do 7 through 9 before the year is out. Subscribe for more content that'll be coming soon, and I'll see you next week for the Return of the Jedi.
Is Darth Vader my father?
You must face Darth Vader again.
There is still good in him.
The Emperor's made a critical error and the time for our attack has come.
Soon the rebellion will be crushed and young Skywalker will be one of us.
He will join us or die.
Be safe out there.